Compete Intercollegiate Technopreneurs Challenge is a competition hosted by QBO Innovation Hub tailored towards student entrepreneurs who are looking to venture into the startup space. Dave Del Rosario, Head of Community and Ecosystem at QBO Innovation Hub, once again joins us in this special episode, part 2, to tell us why students should enter the startup world. So, hello Dave, thank you once again. And I'm so excited to learn bakit nga ba dapat pumasok ang isang student sa startup world. So, hello Dave.
Hello, good afternoon again. Good morning, good evening. Kung ano man ang oras na pinapakinggan niyo ang podcast, happy to be back. And thanks, Johnny, for having me here.
Yeah, so in episode 1 itong series na to, so we talked about QBO Innovation Hub and we talked about Compete, the Intercollegiate Technopreneurs Challenge. So, I want to ask naman and I want to know more about why should a student join nga ba the startup world. So, but before we start that discussion, first we have to answer, ano nga ba ang startup? So let's just define it.
Sure. Funny kasi pag sinearch mo yung startup sa internet, daming definition. Sometimes it's a traditional business now, sometimes it's an innovative business now. But how we define startup at QBO is basically a business na merong tech component, no? And the solution to a problem is kind of weird or kind of unconventional, no? Na hindi natin alam na pwede pala siyang mangyari, right? So that's how we define startup, no? Comparing it to a traditional company, no? Startup offers new and innovative solution to the market na hindi pa natetest at hindi natin na-realize na pwede pala siyang mangyari and that it could potentially solve the problem that we're trying to solve.
Yeah, and I remember when I talked with Eunice, Head of Marketing and Communications sa Idea Space and QBO before when we talked about Philippine Startup Week naman, one of the other events na also being organized by QBO and the government. So, she said that startups have a really big ambition. Parang talagang they really want to grow big and they really want to be mainstream. So, is that right? And can you share more about that?
Yes, of course. Kapag nagsisimula ang isang startup, the ultimate vision talaga is to solve this specific problem na na-experience na isang community, ng isang bansa, or even the whole world, So ang pangarap talaga ng isang startup is to go big, no, and not to go home, no. And normally, pag sinabi nating startup creating this kind of solution, we are not just talking about one community that would be able to parang help them na ma-solve ang isang challenge or isang problem na to. But we're talking about worldwide. So I guess that's why when we talk about startup, they always have this big dream na to conquer not just the community that they are in right now, but to conquer the entire world through their idea.
Yeah, and I really think kaya rin medyo attractive nga sa students, no? Kasi very big, parang very ideal and parang to conquer. Alam mo naman ng students, parang parang I can do everything ganyan. So, yeah, so speaking about that, so yeah, can you share with us why do you think a student should consider joining or should consider entering the startup world? Maybe why join a startup company? Maybe let's start like after graduating or even while studying, while join as intern, and maybe after graduating, bakit naman kaya sila really should like join a startup company as an entry job maybe?
Sure. Actually, I wanted to share a bit of my story. I started as an intern of Idea Space. Idea Space is one of the leading accelerator in the Philippine startup ecosystem. And parang no regrets during that internship because, the parang common task, no? And I think this is the reality of life, no? Kapag nag-intern ka sa isang big organizations, normally they're really just gonna treat you as an intern. No? And you're parang yung mga tasks na gagawin mo are not, sometimes or most of the times would be the task na parang hindi naman makakatulong sa development mo. But I was so lucky enough na during my internship, of course, I still experience, cutting flyers, giving away flyers, and all of that stuff. But it opened a lot of opportunities sa akin. I learned a lot during that internship, And I believe no, that's the very reason why students should really work, or especially na student pa lang right now, no, intern sa isang startup organization or sa isang startup company, not only because um, exciting yung mga papagawa nilang tasks sa inyo, but because they will also treat you as like an official team member of the organization. So walang tig-timpla ng kape, tig-xerox or what, but really they are they're really gonna treat you as someone na very valuable and very vital sa company nila, na tutulong sa kanila to achieve their goals and milestone. Now, after graduation, why not pursue your own startup? I mean, hindi ko na siya i-sugarcoat maybe, it's definitely hard to create your own startup, especially yung journey na nakikita natin lately sa mga startup founders that we incubate at Idea Space and QBO. Ang daming nagfi-fail, and only parang few startups yung talaga nagsusurvive. It's like parang 9 out of 10 would really fail, and really 1 out of that 10 startups would really succeed. The good thing about that is parang winners, or the winner takes all. If you really find the right formula, the right recipe for your startup, it's really a captured audience, a captured target, a captured market for you. While it's hard, sabi nga nila na parang startup is like a walk in the park, but you are walking in a Jurassic Park. And so yun din parang the fulfillment that it brings to the founders is hindi mo masusukat. Once you create a solution that works, that the customers really love, it's all yours. Once na ma-solve or makita mo na, may solution really solved the problem na matagal na experience ng community. There's the fulfillment, there's the pleasure. I think that's something na kailangan, especially if you are an early grad, kind of person, yung fulfillment, and kailangan malaman mo agad yung passion and yung space mo in this industry. I think startup is definitely a good choice or a good path for everyone.
Yeah, it's true, especially I think like for millennials and for Gen Zs, yung mga medyo younger generations, parang ang hanap talaga natin talaga nakikin natin na career is yung yung we feel fulfilled, we feel our passion, we can put our passion into that career. Parang talagang motivate tayo every day, not just about the money, not just about the position, pero yung parang we serve other people, we help other people.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of so some startups succeed, but many we might say fail. Pero it's not really that failure is a bad thing naman 'di ba? So and especially bilang students, bilang kakagraduate pa lang. So parang fail early. Kaysa fail later in life, fail early kasi it's an opportunity to start up again and to maybe in your second try build a successful startup. Is that right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, ang palagi namin sinasabi sa mga estudyante is this is really the perfect time for you to build a startup. One, kung mag-fail ka, ang daming pwedeng sumuporta sa'yo, versus, mag-create ka ng startup mo in your late, 40s, 50s, and once you fail, parang, where do you get your support, Of course, not that I'm saying na walang support on that age, but sobrang daming support na pwede mong ma-receive if you do fail early and if you do fail fast. And of course, yung parang time for you to learn stuff is very helpful, or will be very helpful as you go along with this journey. So as we always say, fail fast, fail cheap, fail forward. And if you're thinking about creating startup, today is really the best time. Not just because the Philippines is ready for you, but also because ang daming supports around, and I mean, walang permanent sa mundo, no? And hindi natin alam kung kailan mawawala itong mga supports na to. We hope it's gonna stick forever, no? But we are not sure, no? So this is really the best time for you to, yung malikot na utak na yan, merong mga ideas na binubrew, no? Let it out. And let us help you, no? Turn that into reality.
Yeah, so really grab that opportunity, no. So right now nga QBO, we're very fortunate that QBO Innovation Hub is really providing all of these resources. So speaking of that, no, so QBO Innovation Hub nga has compete, so students can start joining that kind of competitions and maybe after, so they can really start building their own startup. Pero I just want to ask Dave, so are there some like success stories ba of like students building a startup while they are still studying and then naging successful talaga, naging like big talaga?
Yeah, there are so many inspiring stories out there, no. I personally met some of them, no, throughout my 9 years of being with in the ecosystem, ano. But one very inspiring story for me is the story of Time-Free Innovation, ano. Shout out Chino Atilano, the CEO of Time-Free Innovation, ano. He's a good friend, no, but his story is very inspiring. Time-Free is one of the leading queuing company in the Philippines, and surprisingly, no, and interestingly enough, that Time-Free Innovation was their thesis nung nagka-college pa sila sa Ateneo de Zamboanga. No? So tulad na sinabi ko sa episode 1, hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip pa kasi meron ka ng thesis eh. No? All you have to do is to let it out, no? Pull it out sa library and turn it into reality. And that's what Chino and his team did right after graduation. Actually, not right after graduation because normal college student, once they graduate, especially if you're an engineer, to take the exam, pass it, no, find good paying job, no, and ayun yung ginawa na route nila, na tinake na route nila Chino, no. But they also kept in mind na, meron pala kaming idea or thesis during our college na malaki yung potential. So sumali sila sa idea space competition, the first batch, no, they won and became part of the top 10 startups na sinuportahan ni idea space. And now, look at them. Search Time-Free Innovation in the internet. They have been penetrating the queuing industry for quite some time now. Chino can call himself the CEO of his own company. They can call themselves like a thesis to a company kind of business, diba? Which is definitely a very inspiring story. And hindi naging hadlang yung location because they're based in Zamboanga, no, and not in Manila na alam naman natin in terms of opportunity, sobrang contest sa mga regions, no, and provinces, which we're trying to solve. But hindi siya naging hadlang for them to really pursue their dreams to really, creating their own company.
Yeah, and I actually remember Cropital, so si Roel Amparo from Cropital. Actually, I know him because he's one batch lower than me sa UP Diliman, Industrial Engineering. So, I also interviewed him in this podcast. And actually, yung Cropital, it's actually from a technopreneurship class na he attended. And then, siya and his groupmates, sila ngayon yung Roel is the founder and CEO, and then they become the team na gumagawa ngayon ng Cropital, nag-build pa further ng Cropital, which also joined Idea Space nga, and actually part of QBO's Top 100. Yeah. So let's talk about the thing that startups are the future of work. So we mentioned that nung episode 1. So can you tell us more about this? I mean, ano ba ang ibig sabihin natin sa future of work, and like why are startups the future?
Sure. I think sa previous episode, I mentioned the industrial revolution 4.0, and startups are really at the forefront of this revolution. And over the last years, we've seen how startup parang kung paano nila change yung yung gameplay in the industry, Sila talaga yung nagpo-push sa mga big companies to innovate, because if these big companies don't innovate, they're gonna die, and ito yung mga startups natin yung talagang nag-uudyok pa kumbaga sa mga big companies to really adapt innovation, improve their offerings, no? So, kumbaga, na-challenge or na-threaten yung mga companies na to sa mga startups because, if they're not gonna innovate, then kakainin na sila ng mga startups that we have right now, or might as well partner up with the startups, ano? So, again, I guess startups are really the future of work, because, we are already in the digital and tech kind of industry. We're talking about clouds, we're talking about robots, AI, and stuff like that. And when you create startups, it always revolves around technology. And when we talk about technology nowadays, it's something big. It's something na has a huge potential, and something na hindi na madaling or hindi na mahirap i-achieve, especially if you are creating your own startup.
Yeah, I think ang keyword dito is yung innovation. In my point of view, I'm not particularly sure, pero parang in my point of view, so industrial revolution nga and technology. So naipon yung parang technological advancements, like we have cloud computing now, we have AI nga, pero yung kumbaga magpuput sa kanila into the ground, yung talaga mag-i-implement and gagawa ng parang ng execution nung projects that will help the communities, nung startups na may products and services na talagang magde-deliver ng value for the people. I think parang yun din yung ginagawa ng startups. Parang pinaput yung technology into practice really. So right. I really also think that's why attractive ang startups for.
It's very tied. It's tied very closely to tech and digital innovations, which are becoming more and more essential to our daily lives. Parang di na tayo namubuhay na walang tech or digital innovation in our lives. But other than that, it's far from a traditional company. We're talking about flexible hours here. We're talking about freedom to solve problems creatively. We're talking about seeking out new solutions na hindi natin alam na pwede ba. And we're really pushing for innovation, as you said. It's always, startup is always about creating and staying relevant, and growing quickly with the digital age.
Yeah, what I really like about when I talked with Eunice last time when we were talking about the Philippine Startup Week, parang in the startup ecosystem, what you need is parang hindi ganun ka-important yung credentials and yung like your top in your class, pero ang important is yung you have that will to learn and to take that first step into solving problems. Right?
Yes, the passion and the grit. Kumbaga.
Yeah. Okay, so I really think that's I think we really put it out there, and I hope our student listeners are really motivated. So why not join and enter the startup world? So there are many opportunities awaiting for you, and then parang talagang mag-open talaga yung door into a brand new world. Yeah, so thank you, Dave. So let's take this time lang to promote about QBO Innovation Hub again and Compete, kasi our students nga, this can be their first step into entering the startup world, joining Compete. So can you share briefly lang about Compete and how can they join and how can they know more?
Yeah, for sure. Again, Compete Intercollegiate Technopreneurship Challenge is still open. If you have like this burning and crazy ideas in your minds, or meron kayong team na merong binubrew na mga tech ideas, why not join Compete? Compete is again a startup pitching competition exclusive to college students. Go to our website qbo.com.ph or even our Facebook page, QBO Philippines in Facebook. You're gonna see there yung details how to join. But all you have to do is really to submit or to fill out an application form, and just wait for updates. And there's like a cash grant that awaits the winner, up to 30,000. But more than that, I think bonus na lang talaga yung cash prize. But the prize that you're gonna get here is really the experience and the opportunity to learn. And at QBO, hindi lang kami natatapos with Compete, in terms of like supporting the students or our students, especially yung mga nagtatry to create our own startup. We even have our own dedicated program for you guys. It's called Academy, but again with the Q. We always want to create platforms and avenue that would not just inspire the students and create awareness and evangelize them, but of course to also assist those student startup na nagsimula na. No? Because again, we know that the journey isn't easy, and as much as possible, we would definitely try our best to be there when you really need us the most. No? So do check out QBO and Idea Space. We're again active in our social media, especially Facebook. No, every month we do stuff. No, we do activities and programs. And the good thing about here is it's all for free. No, so it's all for free for now. Again, walang forever sa mundong ito. No, just join and ask your teacher na send you guys to different competitions because malaking tulong po ito sa inyong growth. As a student and of course after graduation.
Yeah, all right. So if our student listeners want to know more, so they can check out the links. So I'll post the links to QBO and to Compete below. And also they can check out yung episode 1 ng series na to. So they can maybe know more. So for our listeners, maybe if they're interested, so why not participate at QBO Innovation Hub's Compete Intercollegiate Technopreneurs Challenge. So thank you, Dave, for sharing about QBO and Compete and kung bakit nga ba dapat or very advantageous or very helpful sumali or pumasok ang student sa startup world. So thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you, Johnny. Keep safe.